This morning, the Dow futures are up 109 points, while the NASDAQ futures are ahead 3, S&P futures 5 points higher. More details at srnews.com.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you're just not happy with what you've got, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare, and it's proven for more than 30 years. It is proven. And we know this from member surveys. People love it, which is why it's grown to hundreds of thousands of members across the country. One big factor, besides the peace of mind that comes from being a MediShare member, the savings is tremendous. It is not atypical for a family of 4 switching to MediShare to save more than $8,000 a year. It is a difference maker. And you can get 24/7 telehealth. You get access to more than 1 million providers and hospitals. There are flexible options, too, for your budget. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join MediShare anytime. So call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number. 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45.
Looking for serious truck savings? Head to Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland and check out these Chevrolet deals happening now. Drive home a 26 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom with up to $6,000 in rebates, now just $45,335. Need more features? Step into a 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT with up to $5,750 in rebates, now $52,040. Power, capability, and value, all backed by the Chevrolet name. See the lineup today at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, online at hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. There's a new push at the Kansas State Capitol to legalize both recreational and medical marijuana. Tuesday, House Democrats held a press conference to announce the introduction of 2 new bills that would legalize cannabis in the state of Kansas. HB 2678 would legalize medical strains, while HB 2679 would legalize recreational marijuana. After several attempts to legalize cannabis in recent years, Kansas remains one of the only states in America to fully outlaw marijuana. Its currently drafted language in the 2 bills previously referenced specifies that tax revenue collected from marijuana sales would go directly to affordable housing, property tax relief, and child care. Additionally, a percentage of the revenue would go into the state general fund, giving the legislature power to fund other essential services. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Today will be sunny and cooler, but still above normal with temperatures 60 to 65 behind yesterday's front. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 25 out in Colorado, where fire weather conditions may be elevated, will turn southwest overnight at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and lows will drop to 30 to 35. Tomorrow, similar to today, will be sunny but warmer, highs around 70, winds again from the northwest at 10 to 20, gusting higher out there in Colorado, lows 30 to 35, and then Saturday, a dry Canadian cold front will sweep through. Highs will still reach into the lower 60s ahead of much colder air surge overnight and Sunday. Saturday night and Sunday morning, there may be some light wintry precipitation, freezing rain, or light snow, with the quick system skirting across the state. Lows will drop into the mid-20s, and temperatures on Sunday only be in the mid-30s to around 40. This meteorologist Chris Schromick, the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
From drive-through banking to mobile deposit, we make it easy to get things done on your schedule. Banking should fit your life, not the other way around. This is Jessica Von Lintel at F&B Bank. Banking made simple.
In a small town, your banker should know more than just your account number. They should know your name. At F&B Bank, we believe in real conversations, friendly faces, and decisions made right here at home. I'm Paige Sneathen, Vice President at F&B Bank, and we're proud to serve your family like our own. Member FDIC.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5500. 888-878-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
And Connor Schuh.
Slovakia probably sucks.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us?
Covering it all from the preps.
Cowgirls hunting them, and they're finding them. Stargell with another 3.
To the pros.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakland.
Let's go to work. Bray gives to Jackson, who curls around the screen. An interception by Mullins. Mullins an outlet. Ross. Oh, he runs the rim. Oh, Rip City.
There's the long lead pass ahead for PJ. Good catch, layup, good with 3 seconds to go.
Cross-court pass, right side Inman, transition 3 on the way, right between the eyes from downtown. Man, that jumper is pure, isn't it?
Bounces it into Taj Manning, shot, yes, and an and one. McKaylee fouled it.
Haggerty down the paint, throws it up, shot rejected by Bangkok Dak, about 12 feet in the air.
And the rebound taken down by Maryland. There's Hoiberg on the steal, and it is Frager. He jams that puppy. He dunks that baby. Slamola.
Nothing like a good slamola to get your Thursday going. Happy good morning, everybody. Glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz on this February the 26th. Ross Volkmer and Connor Schuh. Got a big show ahead for you today. We're going to cover it all. We've got college basketball, wrestling talk, high school hoop playoffs resume tonight. Plenty to get to here on a Thursday program. So glad you decided to join us either on, of course, Rocket 102.5 KLOE, independentksradio.net, or the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. No matter which way you're listening or watching, we appreciate you doing so. Good night of basketball again last night, Connor Schuh. Some good games, including a big old slamola.
Where does he get that?
Pavelka looking for work. So here's the thing. Kent Pavelka has been the radio voice for Nebraska basketball for 40 years now, pretty sure. And you can only imagine what those 40 years have been like covering Nebraska basketball. Pretty
fun.
Bad. He's probably called, I know he's called a total of, I think he's called a total of like 4 NCAA tournament games total.
Wow.
You know, and he's done how many games, and he's and of his years, more of the years that he's covered, Nebraska's finished with a 500 or below record. And so this year, now that Nebraska is, I still can't believe it, 24-4 after the win last night over Maryland. He's just having way too much fun. And so he's like making up words as he has this fun. And there's
what it sounds like.
And there's a t-shirt company in Nebraska called Triple B Printing that's having all the fun. They're taking everything that he says that's ridiculous and putting it on a shirt and selling it. That's what's happening.
If that's his, if that's his MO.
As soon as I heard that last night, Connor, I thought there's another T-shirt being printed right now. Slamola.
Yeah, really. Slamola. Oh my goodness.
Oh my boy, what a night it was in college basketball last night. Just to dive right into it. My goodness, what a night. So many great games. Even here locally at the JUCO level, there were some amazing games between Colby Community College and Fort Hays Tech Northwest. Girls game was a come from behind overtime win for CCC. They had to storm back because Fort Hays Tech Northwest shot the lights out of the gym last night there at the Colby Event Center, particularly from three, made 12 triples last night. And then also it was Marta Rodriguez, I think, went off for 28. I think she went off for 28 points. Yeah, it was nuts. And that was a game where Colby trailed throughout most of it. Really did. Colby trailed throughout most of the contest. Tech was up by 6 at the end of the first quarter, by 7 at halftime. They were up by 5 going into the fourth quarter. So a close game most of the way. And then overtime, and then outscored 15-5 in overtime. Tech just ran out of gas, and Colby Community College was able to get the win. But a great performance from Marta Rodriguez. She had 28 points last night. She made 4 of 12 threes, but Tech as a squad, because Victoria Fernandez hit 5 threes, hit 12 of 39 last night from deep, while Colby goes out and gets it done late, led by Olivia Holtgren with 24 points last night in a win for CCC.
Sounds like it got a little hairy there for a little bit for the Colby Community College girls, because, I mean, obviously it hasn't been the greatest season for Fort Hays Tech Northwest, only 2 wins to this point, and Colby with some stuff on the line, almost dropping that. Whew, it's again scary, but
a little bit of an oversight. I'm guessing you're overlooking your opponent a little bit.
I think that's possible.
I mean, not to say that's what's happened, but I mean, there's always that you're, no matter what you say as a coach, you're like, hey, let's be focused. Let's be ready to go. This team can beat us. And like, oh, whatever, coach, they've got 2 wins, that's in their head.
It's human nature.
You're right. And so, credit to Colby for fighting back, and a tough loss for friend of the program. Well, both coaches are friends of the program, but for Coach Klein, I feel bad for him, unfortunately, because he had another win. He's had some close ones. You have to give a lot of credit. Both Darren Spence has really turned around that program. They were in the Fort Hays Tech Northwest shoes when he got there. They were coming off like a 2-win season. And even though Coach Klein only has 2 wins and might only finish with 2 or 3 wins this year,
improvement.
There has been improvement throughout the season. You can see that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've gone from being non-competitive to competitive. And now the thing is taking these tight losses and turning them into close wins. And that's the next step. More than likely that's going to happen next year when he brings in a new, not a new crop, but more troops to help the cause. That kind
of. It's. I mean, I can't imagine how tough it is to rebuild a program coming off a 1-win season. I can't fathom that. Like, I don't know what you can do to what's the pitch for players. It's like, we won 1 game last year.
And you ought to have that conversation with a lot of junior college coaches, and in particular ones that have been at Fort Hays Tech Northwest or Colby Community College, ones that are out here on the High Plains. You ought to have that conversation and hear them talk about that. Because I remember visiting, because I always had a great time visiting with a former coach here at Fort Hays Tech Northwest, who's now down in Texas doing JUCO stuff. And he used to say, I just used to say we're a Division I JUCO basketball program. We play in the Jayhawk Conference, which is one of the best in the league. You can come here, you can develop all that stuff, and then we can send you on your way. And that was his pitch.
That's your best pitch right there.
That was the pitch. That was all it was. He never mentioned anything about where it was or, what it may be. He never mentioned it one bit. And the thing is, when you recruit a lot of internationals, which if you look at a lot of the rosters anymore now across the JUCOs, you're seeing a lot more international. Oh, heck, not even just JUCOs, across basketball, period. You see a lot of nationals. Guess what? They're not really interested in that kind of stuff for the most part. They just want to come over to the U.S. and be able to play basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't know any better. So
And
to an
you end up
extent,
there.
you kind of bamboozle some. You're like, yeah, come on by. And then they're here like, oh my.
And Fort
you
Hays
don't know any
Tech's
better.
roster, majority international players.
Yeah. Well, once again, even though the women lost last night, Fort Hays Tech Northwest women, there's been improvement this year.
Definitely.
And Colby Community College, able to get a nice win last night. The men's game was just as entertaining. And once again, another heartbreaking loss for Fort Hays Tech Northwest men. They lose 71-70 on a last-second three-pointer from Alou Diallo. Hit one with 4 seconds left, took the lead by 1, and ended up losing 71-70 to Fort Hays Tech Northwest, or Colby winning, any way you want to put it. Tech was trailing, had a slow. Fort Hays Tech Northwest has kind of been known for getting off to some slow starts this year at times, and it once again hurt them. They were down by 2 at halftime. Tried to fight back, had the lead, I think by about 6 or 8 at one point in time in the second half, but could not close it out of the end. Colby comes back. Alou Diallo once again with the big three, who finished with 18 points and 4 of 8 from 3. They get it done. You look at the numbers; they're almost identical. As you would expect in a close game. It just came down to who made the last shot, and that was Colby who got it at the time. That was a big thing there.
Only had 24 rebounds, and they still got the win.
I know.
That's
they were
impressive.
-7 in rebounding margin last night. Didn't matter, but both teams made 10 threes. Both teams got to the foul line pretty equal and made, same. Colby made 3 more free throws. That was pretty big in a close game like this. Q Dixon, by the way, led Fort Hays Tech Northwest with 22 points last night. But yeah, that's that. You talk about, once again, if you go back and you look at the Fort Hays Tech Northwest men's basketball schedule, you will find a ton of heartbreak on it.
Yes, a lot of 5 to 1 point losses in there.
We counted that up last time. Anything? So here's a 71-70 score, a loss, a 68-67.
Here, hold on. Let me guess the number. I think it's 8, right?
I think you're a little high, but it might be. So here's what's the margin? 10 or less, or 5 or less?
I'm saying 5 or less.
5 or
I'm gonna
less.
go back to 6.
1, 2. That is 7. So there's a 3. That would be 5. 4. 5. 6. Well, that's a win. So never mind. That's 5. There's 6 right there.
Okay.
7. 8.
Yes.
9.
Wow.
9.
Oh my gosh.
9 losses this year by 5 or less points.
There you go.
I mean, that is absolute heartbreak. That's honestly all I could think about last night when I saw the score. I thought about Coach Shaw, and I thought 9. I didn't think 9, but I thought of all the losses of the close variety. 9.
I feel for him. Feel
9.
for the guy.
That's like a third of your season has been by less than 5 points. You've lost a game.
He's experienced a lot of that. I think we'll be talking about that a little bit in the very near future. But man, I got to say, this win for Colby was kind of necessary because they were behind Pratt and in last place in the Jayhawk, and now they jumped them with the win because they're 4-18 in conference compared to Pratt's 4-19. So they just gotta win 1 or 2 more, and they lock it up unless Pratt loses out. So,
yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, it is the 13, because there's 13 teams in the league. Only the top 12 make the postseason.
Yeah.
13th team
The
does.
last team doesn't make it.
Yeah, so they don't make it. So, yeah, that was huge for Colby. They needed it. They got it. Fort Hays Tech Northwest is going to be in the postseason. But the sad part is if they win half of those 9 games or even 4 of them, all of a sudden they jump from being in the middle, bottom of the pack to being upper middle of the pack.
Heck, because I'm looking at the standings right now, and there's 4 teams that are 12-10 and 2 that are 13-9. So if they won 4 more of those games, they'd be in 4th place right now.
Yeah.
So
rough, just a rough. I feel bad. I feel bad for both Fort Hays Tech Northwest coaches, but hey, congratulations to Colby Community College. They got the wins last night. That was well done on their part. But boy, those are some heartbreaking losses last night.
Yeah, that's
the van rides back were not fun. Luckily, it was only a 30-minute trip.
Probably felt like 2 hours.
It might have. That was tough. So that wasn't the only good college basketball last night. I don't know if I want to call it good. But it was a game nonetheless between Colorado and Kansas State, 79-70. The final score. The Buffaloes win their 4th consecutive home game, and Kansas State just cannot get off the losing track away from home. This was a game. Did you happen to watch any of this game?
I caught on near the end, but the game was in hand. I don't even know why I was still watching the Ohio State game, which was I probably should have turned that off as soon as the second half started.
Absorb more pain. Yeah.
That was awful, but that's besides
They were
the
up
point.
big to start over Iowa, and then it fell apart.
We were up 14-2, and a few minutes later, it was 33-18 Iowa.
Oh, my.
And Iowa, as some may know, plays with some of the slowest pace in the nation.
Yep. Deliberately play that way.
And they blitz us. But, K-State, though.
Iowa's a tough out with the way they play, and that's Ben McCollum for you. Once again, he's a phenomenal coach.
He is.
He knows how to win. It doesn't matter what level he is, and I'm a huge fan of him when he's not playing Nebraska. Huge.
And
fan.
one more thing before you move on. I saw Bennett Sturtz had played 352 of 360 available minutes in the last 9 games.
He is
That's
dude.
crazy.
He's a dude. He's a first-team All-American. He should be.
Iron Man.
He's amazing. I love Bennett Sturtz. Have for a long time. He is a dude. This was a guy who wasn't even recruited by Division I teams. He was a Division II guy.
It's crazy because he's slow as molasses, but he just plays the angles so well. Crafty.
He's heady. Back to Kansas State, Colorado, 79-70. The Buffaloes get the win last night over K-State. This was a game, if you didn't watch, it was a game of runs. I mean, or if you want to call it that, or a game of droughts, whatever you want to call it. There were so many times. Colorado is up by, gosh, how much were they up by at one point in time? And they were pulling away. They were up 26-14, and they pushed that up to like 34-18. They're pretty much doubling up Kansas State, pretty much. But that was with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. K-State then decides to go on a run to get it down to an 11-point game at halftime, 42-31. Thanks again. Actually, it's 42-33 because of the long pass ahead to PJ Haggerty, like a football pass ahead to Haggerty, lays it in. Poor defense. And that run continued into start the second half, where K-State got it down to 5, 42-37. But then the wheels came off the K-State bandwagon, and all of a sudden it was 50-37 after an 8-0 run, and Colorado kind of kept it around a 14-point game. But guess what? It gets to be around 2 minutes left to go, and guess where K-State is? Only down by 3.
Of course. And as you can see on the screen, if you're watching the video stream, it was a 21-point game at one point there. So that's crazy. They even got it back to 3.
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, just back and forth, the runs. It was PJ Haggerty finished with a double-double, 25 points, 10 boards. And Colorado had more balanced scoring with 18 from Isaiah Johnson, who I love what they said on the telecast last night. If he wasn't in the Big 12, or if he wasn't in this class of freshmen in the Big 12, he'd be talked about a whole lot more. He's good. Yes. He's Dwayne Wade's godson. Not
really?
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, Mark Johnson brought that up to us on our conversation.
Nope, he did say that. That's
Remember,
right.
he said Dwayne Wade's godson, and he's dang good. Cool. Isaiah Johnson is not big. He's got a lot of growing to do. Hopefully getting a little bit, certainly getting stronger if he's getting a whole lot taller, but he's good. He's a good player.
I think he said he trained with Chris Paul too. I'm pretty
sure.
It
wouldn't shock me. You got those kind of connections, might as well use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was great last night for Colorado. But like I said, you saw a young Colorado basketball team. We've talked about how youthful they are. Colorado, you saw it last night. You saw the moments where they flash and they go out there and they just play great. They play amazing for stretches. And then they have those fresh moments where they take their foot off the gas and they let the other team come back into the game. That's what happened all night last night. There for CU. That was the story of the game. That's what it really was. It's amazing to listen to the post-game audio from both coaches. You know, Coach Driscoll for K-State in his interim spot, every time he gets on every time Wyatt opens up the conversation and kind of leaves it open in for him to take it where he wants to go, Coach Driscoll always goes, "I'm so proud of the guys and their effort." He starts off every one, which is completely a 180 from what Jerome Tang would have said, right? I'm embarrassed. This team is not good.
He probably wants the job.
It's
He's
amazing.
saying all the right things.
It's amazing to hear what Coach Driscoll's saying about the guys. It's completely opposite. Tad Boyle. So Driscoll, even though his team got beat, was more like that. Tad Boyle had a great comment. So Danny Manning, of course, who played for Kansas, is an assistant at Colorado now. And he was a college basketball great, played a lot of NBA. Coach Manning and Coach Boyle had a conversation after the game, and Coach Boyle shared those words post-game with our good friend Mark Johnson. Here's what was said.
Coach Manning's been around a lot of basketball in his day, probably more than me, playing 82 games in the NBA for 15 years. And he said after the game, he said, that wasn't pretty. And I don't like to correct my assistant coaches because they're pretty intelligent, but I said, no, Danny, that was ugly.
Yes.
That was the winning coach.
No, that was ugly. Former head coach Danny Manning.
That's right. Wake Forest. He was also at Tulsa.
Yes.
Also at Tulsa. So, yeah, that was interesting stuff for sure. But once again, K-State loses. They host TCU Saturday. Colorado, see if they can push this this recent little surge they've on. They've won 3 of their last 5, including 2 in a row, and their last 4 at home, but they're at Houston. And so, and Houston's going to be mad after what happened on Monday. That'll be a tough one.
Ross, they're going to make a great run in the Crown.
They probably will.
Honestly.
Hey, you know what?
Cincy.
The Crown can lead to great things.
It did for Nebraska.
That's a great transition because last night, Nebraska had a nice, ugly win over Maryland, as I knew it would be. It would not be a pretty game. Maryland always concerns me because you know what Maryland always has? I said it yesterday. Freaks. They always got freaks. They've always got guys that can jump out of the gym and can do whatever. And Maryland, of course, because this is how it always goes for Nebraska basketball. Everyone says, well, Maryland's one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the Big Ten. And what does Maryland do? They come out and knock down 12 threes. So, yes, of course, that's how it goes. But Nebraska, who got sucker punched in the face through the first half, stood tall and gets the win 74-61, pulls away in the final 10 minutes to get the win over Maryland last night. Nebraska had 4 guys in double figures, led by Braden Frager, 21 points off the bench, including a thunderous dunk, or as we like to call it on the show, a slamola in the game last night. It was sweet. And then Bryce Sanford was 16 points, 13 from Rink Mast and 12 from Sam Hoiberg. More on him in a minute. Maryland's got some nice players. Solomon Washington is one of those freaks I described. Andre Mills is a freshman who's very, very talented. He had 19 points to lead the way for them last night. So, but Nebraska didn't get punked by a team that is definitely more athletic than them, and that was a good sign. Despite and it had to win a rock fight once again. It hasn't been beautiful, easy basketball for Nebraska, but they have found a way to win some of these games here as of late. I just wish Nebraska had one of those freaks, just one. A guy that was like a 4-man or a 5-man who just dunked everything. That's all he wanted to do was just destroy a rim every time he went.
I think that is something that Nebraska is kind of lacking that makes me worried about the NCAA tournament. They lack the athleticism. And I mean, Rink Mast and Butenzel are big guys, but they're not jumping.
Rink Mast is not a high flyer. I love Rink, but he plays with cement blocks in his shoes.
Yes, he does. And he's very good at doing it.
Part of the problem is, he's got his knees are in horrible shape. And so that's part of the reason why. But yeah, it's hard to Rink Mast gets a lot of shots blocked for being 6'10", and Nebraska just needs one freakazoid out there. Like I said, I would love Amari Bine would be on Nebraska's basketball roster. It would be a great addition.
He might just hit the portal and go over there.
I would love it. I'd be all for it. It'd be amazing. I'd love to hear it.
That would create quite the rift.
But anyway, before we get to break and next segment, I've got to put out here. There is a guy, and right there on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC, you saw the slamola and also the play by Sam Hoiberg, the steal before. If Sam Hoiberg, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to be so mad. Sam Hoiberg deserves to be first team All Big Ten. Sam Hoiberg deserves to be there. It is not in his offensive scoring, but everything else that he does. He is the ultimate dirty work guy. He does everything that nobody in college basketball loves to do anymore. Steals, rebounds, assists, that kind of stuff. He does it to the best ability of anybody. I put him up against the nation. I would love to know, and I don't think they keep this stat in basketball, what is his WAR? What is his wins above replacement?
I think there's an equivalent stat for that. I don't know about in college ball, but in the NBA, I know Ken Pom has something like that.
He leads the nation in assist to turnover ratio at like 5-1. It's ridiculous. He does everything. And if you listen to any coach post game that talks about Sam Hoiberg, every coach says he's the reason why they win. And I'm telling you right now, there's another play. A deflection leads to this unbelievable, unselfish basketball. Look at this. Sam could have taken it up. Nope. Kick out. Extra pass. Wide open three. Boom.
Well, you know where Sam Hoiberg is going to be. I think he's going to be on the all-defensive team at least.
Oh, he better be there.
You have to be more of a scorer if you're going to be.
He better be on the second team at minimum. But I think he deserves to be first team All Big Ten. There's another play right there. He does everything, and he deserves to be there. And it's a great story. From walk-on to what I think should be first team All Big Ten. He is an absolute, and any team would love to have him. Any team in the Big Ten, any coach in the Big Ten would love to have him. Guaranteed.
He hustles.
He does it all. Steve from Binkelman agrees. He says he'll be in the All Big Ten defensive team. Well, he better be, Steve. If he's not, there's a problem. But I think he better be a minimum second team, and I think you could make a case for him being first team All Big Ten for what he does.
I don't see it.
I would love to know what his wins above replacement is. Nebraska does not have this unbelievable, which I still can't believe to say it, 24-4 record without Sam Hoiberg. They might have 10 less wins without him. 10. 10.
I mean, he's
10.
I guess I can't say much because I
got to sit
not
down.
watched all
there
the
are
games.
plays that he makes, like a ball that's rebounded, but it got loose. And he runs over, grabs the ball, and flings it off of a guy's ankle and goes out of bounds. He does that once a game.
I'm not denying his impact at all.
Stat sheet. I'm telling you, there is something special that you do not see in college basketball anymore with how he plays. He is the ultimate hustle guy. And I know if the coaches, do the coaches do an All Big Ten team, or is it just the media?
I think the media and coaches do separate.
I think the coaches will have Sam Hoiberg first team All Big Ten.
We'll see. I don't
telling
know.
you,
I mean, at his position, what would you consider him? A 2-guard?
2-guard, 1. I don't care. Put him at point guard. 1 or 2. I don't care. Wherever he fits. It doesn't really matter anymore. They really don't. It's kind of positionless basketball. It's usually the 5 best players.
I can name a lot of guards that they'd probably put over him, though. No disrespect to him.
Just because they're great scorers.
And that's what's valued in those polls.
I understand that. And I get that point. But my point is, if you step outside the box and you just look at what a guy does for his team, it's amazing what he would do and what he would do for another team. It's like me. I always value most valuable player. If you took that guy, the MVP, off of that team, who would suffer worse? If you took Sam Hoiberg off Nebraska, I think they might lose 10 more games.
Counterpoint.
That's ridiculous.
If you took Bruce Thornton off Ohio State, they'd have 8 wins.
Maybe Amari Bynum would step up more and play and have bigger impact if Bruce Thornton wasn't there.
He'd probably be. He'd have bigger numbers. I'll tell you that much.
Anyway, a win last night for Nebraska there over Maryland, 74-61. Nebraska now with a 2-game road trip out west to take on USC and UCLA starting Saturday against the Trojans. All right, we got to get to a break. We have way past overdue. Up next, Mike Holliday, our area wrestling expert, is going to join us. He joins us every year to talk about state wrestling. He'll join us next as state wrestling gets underway starting tomorrow in Hayes and Salina for our area wrestlers. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
It's time to step into premium capability at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland with strong GMC offers happening now. Get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with up to $7,000 in rebates, now $51,150. And if you're ready for a full-size luxury, the 2026 GMC Yukon features 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Full design, professional-grade performance. GMC delivers power and refinement wherever the road takes you. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or online at hurlchev.com.
Kick off 2026 ready for whatever winter brings. At Hoover Lumber, Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, they've got the gear to start the new year strong. Get organized with rugged storage totes. And when the snow starts falling, if it does, power through it with Ego and Craftsman snowblowers. Or if it's just the light stuff, blow it away with Ego leaf blowers. And don't forget ice melt to keep your sidewalk safe all season long. New year, winter ready. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Helpful folks, trusted brands, and everything you need to get it done.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Hayden with the Andersons for the morning market report. Today is February 26th. March corn is at 432, up 1.5. Sorry. May corn is at 444, up 2. Kansas City wheat for March is at 551, down 1 cent, 1 cent and a half. May Kansas City wheat is at 562 3/4, up 1.5. Soybeans for March are at 1154 and a half, up 6 1/4. May soybeans are at 1170 3/4, up 5 3/4. S&P futures right now are up 7 points. The Dow futures are up 100 points. NASDAQ futures are up 4 points, and gold is down 40 points. If you have any cash ready to move or interest in our freight and pricing tools, call myself, Tom Saluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Grosh at 913-748-3000. If you have any needs in Colorado, call John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
In the future together.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
All right, we continue to roll along here on a Thursday program. Glad you decided to join us on the Morning Blitz. We will get to some high school hoops thought coming up here in about 10 to 15 minutes to wrap up the show as postseason basketball resumes tonight for a few of our area teams, 2A girls and 3A boys on the hardwood tonight. Let's welcome into the program before we talk some basketball. Let's talk some wrestling. State wrestling gets going tomorrow for all area wrestlers, and we're pleased to be joined on the phone by, I like to call him our area wrestling expert, Mike Holliday, who joins us on the phone. Good morning, Mike. How are we doing today?
Ross, doing fantastic. Looking forward to 2 excellent days of wrestling. I think the weather's going to hold up, so it's going to be nice traveling. You know, I spend 2 days in the Coliseum. I'll get there a little before 7 tomorrow and probably leave around 7. And I'm oblivious to either how nice or how bad the weather is. There's been times that I've gone outside and there's been 5 inches of snow, or tomorrow I'll walk outside and it'll be, 65 degrees or so by the time I'm done. So I prefer the nice weather, as most people do.
No, nothing wrong with that for sure. I want to start off by talking about the continued dynasty of Hoxie Wrestling, which I know we've talked about a lot in our time. When you look at Hoxie Wrestling and you look at the dynasty that they've created, I mean, where in your mind do they kind of stack up in the history and the pantheon of high school wrestling in Kansas?
Well, it's one of the best runs that we have ever seen. Arc City, I think, might have won. Boy, they were up there in double digits in 5A, back in the 90s and early 2000s. So they hold the consecutive streak as far as team titles go. But Hoxie is entering some rarefied air. They are going for their 6th straight state championship. And if they win it this year, and all indications are that they will be favored for the next 2 years because their deep class is their sophomore class. Hoxie qualified 11 for state out of the Norton Regional last week. Ross, they've got one senior that qualified for state. That's it. Juniors, sophomores, and again, that sophomore class is fantastic. They've got a couple fabulous freshmen as well. So the beat just goes on in Hoxie. They, of course, have a Next Level Training Academy there. Their kids program has enormous numbers. The junior high program is good. They've got excellent coaches. So this dynasty for Hoxie, I don't think is going to end anytime soon. And this was the year to get them. They were ranked number 3 on the boys' side coming into the season, which, talking to some Hoxie people, that's almost just a slap in the face to them. They were ranked behind Norton and Atchison County, but quickly at the Goodland Holiday Classic, they showed that they are the best team in 3-2-1A by winning that tournament by about 100 points. So Hoxie should easily win the boys team title again. And again, you're moving into some pretty special air when you talk about 6 straight state championships.
Mike, you mentioned the Next Level Training Academy. For those who don't know exactly what that is, can you break that down and why it's so important?
It is a training academy run by a couple of former wrestlers for Hoxie who just absolutely love the sport, and their whole goal with that is to get kids involved. They different disciplines during the year. They obviously this year concentrate on folk style, which is what high school wrestling is. But during freestyle season, they will instruct freestyle. Greco season, they'll do that as well. It's just been really good for youth to get involved. You talk about there's just a lot of Hoxie kids that go to that, but then there's kids from all over. Corbin Franklin, for example, he is ranked number 1 at 106 pounds from Rollins County. He has been into the wrestling room at Next Level for many, many years. I've heard of that kid coming up, and here it is. He is a regional champion and ranked number 1. And I can't help but think that, more wrestling, getting mat time and instruction from these guys who know what they're talking about at Next Level is really huge for him and everybody else who attends.
Once again, we are visiting with Mike Holliday. He's our area wrestling expert. He'll be covering 3-1A state wrestling coming up here this weekend. It's not, Hoxie, of course, takes the cake, and with 11 wrestlers, is probably the most qualified of any school there in 3-1A, maybe in all classifications, to be honest with you. But there's lots of other good wrestlers from other area schools out here. I mean, Oakley sending 4. And then Rollins County, St. Francis, Decatur Community sending 3 wrestlers on the individual basis on the boys' side. What else stands out to you about the field there at 3-1A boys?
On the boys' side, Logan Courtois at 144 pounds. He'll be going for his 2nd state championship. He stands out because he set the record earlier this year, the all-time state record for career pins. He was at 135. That's not wins. That is pins in his career. That's something that stands out. There is an undefeated wrestler from Riley County at 113. His name is Tyler Roten. He's actually a move-in from Alaska. He won an Alaska state championship 2 seasons ago. He's one of 6 undefeated wrestlers on the boys' side, but I would not favor him to win that weight class. Caleb Kieswetter from Norton is a 2-time state champion, and he's a fantastic wrestler, won the Norton Regional here last week. I actually favor him to win, but 6 undefeated wrestlers coming in. This is also, there's a lot of moving parts to 3-2-1A, that classification in wrestling. Beloit and Hoisington, Haven is another team. They go up to 4A this year, and we welcome Silver Lake back down to 3A. So every year you're kind of having some of those with schools like Beloit, Hoisington. Larned has been 3A and 4A, and then Silver Lake moving down. That's something that stands out to me as well. But the big storyline is going to be what we just talked about, and Hoxie with a great chance to win their 6th straight state championship.
Mike, when you look at the girls that you'll be covering there, I mean, there's a couple teams that might have a chance at vying for a state medal or not a state medal, a state championship trophy. Oakley's going to take 8 ladies. St. Francis has 5. And the growth of women's wrestling just continues to explode, I feel like.
I have really enjoyed following and covering girls wrestling this year. I talked about it this morning on my radio show that, girls are just fun to be around, and to get to know them and interact with them personally has just been a joy for me. So I'm looking forward to the girls tournament every bit as much as the boys. Russell is ranked number 1 in 321A on the girls side. They won that Trigo regional 2 weeks ago. Norton took second in that. They are the defending state champions on the girls side, and Oakley took third. I would expect those 3 teams to be probably rather easily somewhere in there at the top 3, but Russell they've got an excellent freshman class. They've got a really good chance to win state. As far as area wrestlers go, you mentioned St. Francis. They had a really good regional tournament too, and they are ranked 8th coming in. They won't get a team trophy this year, but they've got a couple of wrestlers who achieved 100 wins in their career. Labarge at 130 pounds, Cheyenne Labarge, and then 120 pound. Actually, Labarge is at 125, and Madison Siegfried ranked 5th at 120 pounds. But they are led by an undefeated freshman, Hensley Matthews, who really hasn't been tested this year in any of her 3-2-1A matches. She had a first period pin in the regional title, ranked number 1 at 100 pounds with an excellent chance to win a state championship. I tell you what, Ross, your coverage area is very well represented with some excellent girls teams. Oakley, you mentioned them qualifying 8th. They've got a state champion back in Callie Wagner looking to defend her title at 155. And then a couple of state runners up in Kylie Hodges at 120 and regional champ Abigail Jackson at 135 should make some noise in their weight classes. So Oakley will be up there again. They have taken second the last 2 years. And if they have a really good state tournament, they may be in the running for a state championship. But again, I think Russell's going to be tough to beat.
Once again, our guest is Mike Holliday, our area wrestling expert, talking about state wrestling, which gets started here tomorrow and goes through Saturday. I know you don't cover 4A, but Colby's had a pretty good year on both the boys and the girls side. They're going to send 8 girls and 6 boys to state. With those kind of numbers, can you do some damage and find yourself with some hardware coming home?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and on the 4A girls side, Colby is not ranked, which is very curious to me as they qualified 8, as you mentioned. They are led by state champion Morgan Hills, who has a great chance to defend her state championship at 135. She's been ranked number 1 all year long. Colby wrestles a tough schedule, too. She has a couple losses on the year, but she'll be a big favorite in 4A. Just a junior, too, so she's got a chance to be a 3-timer. Just a good young lady, too. So I've really enjoyed her success. On the Goodland side, they are led by Danica Doddle, who is a senior. She's had a great career. She will wrestle for Friends University next year. Goodland qualifies 3 for state. Scott City qualifies 5. And then on the boys' side, Colby is led by Ryder Dimpy Wolf. He is a Central Missouri commit, so he'll wrestle Division II. And he's a senior looking for his 3rd state championship. He is a good one. He's been ranked number 1 all year long at 120, and the first opportunity for him to get an undefeated season in his career. So he is a good one. Scott City qualifies 6 for state. Goodland just won, but he's got a chance, I think, at some hardware. I have enjoyed watching Traven Conger, their 144-pounder, wrestle the last couple of years. Something clicked for him last year about midway through the season where he said to himself, hey, I can do this. And then he started to compete very well with some of the best in the state. He wrestled most of the year at 138. He moves up to 144, which I think was a good call for him. 138 at regionals last week was stacked, but I think Traven will win some matches at state too, and I'd love to see him on the podium.
Mike, before we let you go, I'm going to leave you with a question that we asked the audience yesterday. Since you're a guy who loves to follow sports, being a sports broadcaster yourself, what is harder to accomplish? Is it 100 career wins in wrestling or 1,000 career points in basketball over a high school career?
Well, that is an interesting question. I've kicked that around as well. I think 1,000 points in basketball is more difficult to do. And I say that because a lot of these wrestlers, they go to these dual tournaments and they just get so many more matches in. You know, when I was in school, and I'm not going to give you the exact year that I graduated, but I'm pretty old. You know, if you wrestled 30 matches in a year, that was a lot. And now a lot of these kids are approaching 50 matches. They just have more opportunities for more wins. Basketball, you're playing a few more games. Starting this year than you used to? Is it 23 regular season games?
Yeah, that's
now?
correct. Yep.
Yeah, so that will change over the next couple of years. But I think I've seen so many wrestlers. In fact, a lot of wrestlers who have never medaled get to 100 wins. I still think 1,000 points in basketball is probably a little bit more prominent accomplishment. But they are both great. Now in wrestling, you're getting some of these guys that are up to 150 wins, and that's kind of a big time benchmark. So if you put me on the spot and ask me, I'm going to say 1,000 points in basketball.
I was on that boat yesterday too, but I would also agree with you that both definitely deserve a great accomplishment for whoever does either one of those things. Mike Holiday,
isn't it cool to see you see these kids with their banners when they get to 100 wins or 1,000 points and those being recognized? It's just really cool. But yeah, if you'll have me back on next week, we'll kind of recap wrestling, and I would imagine we'll have some really good results from your area.
Put us in your calendar, Mike. We'd love to have you on and talk about how state wrestling all went down. Thanks again for the time, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. And whatever you said about Sam Hoiberg, I agree with. I didn't hear your segment, but I'm a Sam Hoiberg guy. I'm a Nebraska fan, so absolutely underrated. Should be first team All Big Ten. I'm with you, man.
Thank you, Mike Holiday. You are the man. We'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you. Great stuff there for Mike Holiday. How about that? A wrestler who says 1,000 points career scored is more important. Rare to hear that, but I would agree. He's making some great points. All right, let's get to our final break. We'll come back and we will wrap up the show with some thoughts on high school basketball tonight, including both Goodland and Colby boys in action. Also, a few 2A girls teams as well. That's next to the Blitz.
Holly Gilvey is the area leader in quality.
Your trade-ins, they work on all types of different riding mowers, but they do carry Hustler mowers, Hustler parts. Hustlers made right here in Kansas, USA. They carry cordless DeWalt tools like DeWalt lodge edgers, chainsaws, trimmers, 20 or 60 watt. Yeah, they'll keep on growing, so you keep on mowing at M&M Supply, rural Edson, Kansas.
We understand that change can be hard. If you're still holding on to your old flip phone, we might just have the deal for you. At Next Tech Wireless, you can get the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 on us. With its convenient and pocketable design, this phone transforms into what you need when you need it. Next Tech Wireless, celebrating 20 years of connecting Kansans.
You're listening to the High Plains only local sports talk show.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The Morning Blitz.
Once again, if you missed any of the conversation with Mike Holiday, go back, check out the podcast. He is a fountain of information when it comes to area wrestlers. Lots of good information there on who to kind of see, who might be looking at repeat state championships. So yeah, listen to that pod. He's got great stuff, and I just confirmed with him he'll be on with us Monday to recap state wrestling. Might as well while it's fresh in the mind. So he'll be back with us on Monday. High school hoops gets going tonight. There is, I think, 5 area basketball teams on the floor tonight. You've got Rollins County girls on the road at Smith Center, Hoxie girls at the Colby Event Center hosting Sublette, and Oakley girls hosting El Saline. I would expect to see Hoxie and Oakley advancing out of the first round there in the 2A girls bracket. Rollins County, I think, kind of a toss-up, but I think a chance to win that game at Smith Center. I don't think they're going to blow anybody out. I think Rollins County has a chance to get that done possibly. And then in boys basketball, it's 3A tonight. Colby at home in the comfy confines of the CEC hosting Norton. And then I wonder how that's going to work. Maybe I wonder if Hoxie's hosting Sublette at the high school gym.
Would have to, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know what. I guess I didn't look up times. I should look that up. But Colby boys at home hosting Norton at the Colby Event Center, which Connor have coverage of on 100 Point Through the Ride. This is a game that's been played already once or twice this year.
Twice.
So this is the third. Is this the rubber match game?
This is the rubber match. It is 1-1, but the first game was in the at the topside tip-off. So I guess it doesn't technically count towards sub-state stuff. So here we are. But
it doesn't count? How does that not happen?
I don't know what was going on. I was talking to Coach Stevens after the last game against Hugoton, and he was saying it doesn't count towards at least he thinks it doesn't count towards the sub-state standings. I don't know.
It's part of the record. If you won or lost the game in that tournament, it counts towards your record. So I don't know if
I don't know. It could have been a miscommunication or something,
okay.
But
But anyway, they played in the regular season, and did Norton win that one, or did you guys win the regular season?
They won the last one, and that was in Colby, 63-55. And Colby was a little banged up, and that was in the middle
that was kind of when sickness was going through the team, right?
Yeah, and there were a couple of guys nursing injuries, and it was during that weird stretch where there were 3 to 4 games every week.
And I think that was the game where I was like,
tired.
what is going on?
Yeah, that was one that was a little surprising to me, and I think a lot of people. I didn't think they'd drop that one, but anything can happen. But I don't want to make any early conclusions, but I like Colby in this one.
Yeah, I think we'll see. If Colby's at full strength, it's definitely going to help their chances. Well, that's an obvious statement there, but it'll certainly help their chances compared to when they played the last time. I think that's a good way of putting it. So Connor will have coverage on 100 Point Through the Ride starting at what time?
7:15 is about when the pregame show will start. 7:30 tip.
17. All right, there you go. Goodland boys are on the road tonight at Southwestern Heights. I can check this off. I have never been to Southwestern Heights High School. I've never done a broadcast there, so this is a first time for me. I think I'm going to get a lot of visitations there possibly over the next couple of weeks, though, so it'll become old hat. But the Goodland Cowboys going to Southwestern Heights tonight. The bracket in 3A boys for Larned is crazy because there's about 8 teams that have about the same identical record, all hovering around 500. And I think that's what makes this bracket fascinating because I don't think you can just look at the seeding and look who's on the road or look who's at home and say, well, that team's going to win. I think we're going to see a lot of upsets / not chalk happen in the boys bracket.
It's very possible. I mean,
I think we're going to see it. I have a gut feeling that we're going to see this because there's just in the middle. There's 2 teams at the top. Beloit's up there, and that's it. It's Beloit, I think, and then it's Lake. Oh, Beloit Holcomb. Excuse me, Beloit Holcomb, and then after that, 3 through 12, 3 through 11, 3 through 11.
Toss-up.
It's a toss-up. I don't care who you are. No one is great. No one is terrible. I don't think, and tonight is one of those games where we test that theory because Goodland started the year off winning 4 of their first 6 games. They have lost 4 of their last 5 going into tonight. But Goodland has proved if they can play to a certain level, which they've played at times, they played at Ulysses like this. They played a few other games. No, the only loss for Hugoton this year in league play was to Goodland. So the Cowboys have proven that they can beat anybody if they can play to their potential. Yeah, they can beat anybody if they can play to their potential. And Southwestern Heights is a team that's 12-11. They've got some good shooters. They're a balanced scoring team. They're a solid-looking squad. They don't play in the toughest league. I still think the GWAC is one of the hardest leagues out here, and the High Plains League has a couple of good teams, but I don't want to sit there and say that it's a night in and night out deal where you have to fight for your life. So that's the thing I want to see tonight. Has Goodland's schedule, which has been a brutal one this year and finished 10-13, does it help prepare them for this postseason game against a team who I don't think has been as challenged as Goodland has been? That doesn't mean that Goodland's going to win. In no way does that mean that. But I'm fascinated to see if that plays any factor in this game tonight.
I'm sure it helps.
I would think it would help some. But it's a fascinating game. Long road trip. Got to be mentally tough for that. You got 3.5 hours on a bus one way. But if Goodland plays to their potential tonight, they can win this game on the road and take down the 6th seed Southwestern Heights. But it's not just a massive upset. And honestly, if they get past this, they probably would have to go to Lakin. The path is there for the Cowboys to make a run to the sub-state finals. There is a path. It's not a daunting path like in previous years, but you have to play to your potential. And that's the question. Will they do that starting tonight at Southwestern Heights? We'll have coverage on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 KLOE beginning at around 5:40 Mountain Time with tip at 6. And we will have coverage also on the Goodland Voice. We will have the video stream going up down there as well. So if you're not going to make the trip, you can tune in and listen on the radio or watch. But I think it should be a real fascinating football game. Basketball game.
Little late on football.
Going on here tonight. I look forward to seeing this game between Goodland and Southwest Heights. I think it's going to be a real good one, a really good basketball game. All right, on to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off three? Thomas to the 10. Digger's going on the New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Not that anybody cares, but a lot of people on the EpiBank text line have been saying that, yeah, I'm right on Sam Hoiberg. So I feel good. I feel good about that.
Hey, fair enough.
Some other news in sports yesterday. The KJCCC announced its all-league wrestling teams yesterday. Both Fort Hays Tech Northwest and Colby Community College had 2 selections. Braxton McAvey was a first-team selection. His teammate Parker Farr, a third-team selection. Colby's Kamari Johnson, a second-teamer, and Robert Tatum, a third-team selection in the KJCCC all-wrestling teams. By the way, both Colby and Fort Hays Tech Northwest taking 5 guys each to the NJCAA National Wrestling Tournament going on March 6th. In Council Bluffs, Iowa. Also, Colby Community College softball, a split yesterday in their home opener against Clarendon College. They took game 1 9-6, fell in game 2 12-6. They're 2-3 on the season. They got a weekend home series against Otero. It's going to be the nicest weather for softball, like in the history of Colby Community College, to begin in February. I can't imagine it being, because there's been snow on the ground in other games.
But now it's like going to be 65 today.
Yeah. And finally, Deion Sanders' coaching staff continue to kind of get plucked away. His defensive coordinator, Robert Livingston, is going to be the pass game coordinator, defensive backs coach for the Denver Broncos.
Oh.
And so...
Staying close.
Yeah. Sean Payton says the staff overhaul is aimed at boosting takeaways after Denver finished near the bottom in the league in that category last season. So they were great in a lot of stuff, but not turnovers forced. And that's something they're hopefully going to get better at with Robert Livingston. Yeah, but Colorado's kind of turned to like the minor leagues for the Broncos.
Yeah, right. That's
Come on up. Don't forget to catch Connor on 100 Point Through the Ride. Yours truly on Rocket 102.5 for postseason basketball tonight. And good luck to all area teams as they begin their postseason runs here tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow in 23 hours to recap it all on a Friday edition of the Morning Blitz.